With FA Cup Saturday now spread across 4 days, and with Premier League clubs like Liverpool choosing to rest their best players, it is a question more and more people are asking, with some fans beginning to lose interest. So has the FA Cup, once the most prestigious club cup competition in the world, lost its magic? PEJ, a tough tackling fullback who twice reached the FA Cup semi-final with Stoke, said, "What's wrong with playing all the ties at 3 p.m. on a Saturday afternoon? Everyone kicked off at 3 p.m. and the results were all in by 4:50 p.m, when you'd find out all the shocks, who had been knocked out and who was going into the draw for the next round." Judge warns pensioner to stop harassing ex, or he could be jailed. Now we have games played on a Friday night, on a Monday and on a Tuesday. It is spread out and it takes away the magic of it. The history of the FA Cup has gone down the drain. It's like football has only existed since the Premier League began. They just think about money, money, money. The game has run by the TV companies. They sell it abroad and matches are played at different times to suit other countries. Mike Pejic playing for Stoke in 1974, they shouldn't have changed it. The FA Cup is part of our heritage. I got to the semi-final of the FA Cup 3 times, twice with Stoke and once with Everton, and lost in a replay each time. It still hurts to this day. That's what it means. Developer to unveil plans for 200 homes on former Royal Bolton site. Manchester United fan Paul Beattie, aged 45, of Kids Grove, said, "Third round Saturday was always the highlight of the calendar. The games this year were on Friday, Saturday, Sunday and Monday, with the draw at nearly 10 p.m. on a Monday night." But the cup has lost its magic for a number of reasons. The gulf in class is too big now, so you don't get the upsets. In reality, a championship side won't win the cup in the next 20 years, and playing the semis at Wembley has taken the gloss off reaching Wembley for the final. Access to football on TV is another factor. I can watch Real Madrid, Bayern Munich and Manchester United every week, top football on nearly every night across Sky and BT, so why watch Newport vs Darlington at 11:30 a.m. on the BBC? Lifelong Stoke fan Trevor Farrell, aged 75, of Upper Teen, said, "Sky seems to rule the roost and decide when everyone plays, and I think it does take something away from the FA Cup." Stoke fans at the FA Cup semi-final with Arsenal in 1971, getting to Wembley for the final used to be a real incentive, but now Europe takes precedent, as does the league. The FA Cup has lost its gloss, and I think it is a real shame. When PEJ first reached the FA Cup semi-final with Stoke in 1971, the run started with a 2-1 win over Millwall at the Victoria Ground on Saturday, January 2nd. All the 31 other third-round ties were scheduled to be played at the same time, although 10 were postponed because of pitch conditions. Man, 20, loses fight for life after car crashes into tree this year. FA Cup third round started on Friday night, when Tottenham knocked 7 past Premier, and was spread out over 4 days, concluding with Liverpool's 2-1 defeat at Wolves. That was followed by 2 days of replays, including Stoke's clash with Shrewsbury, on Tuesday and Wednesday. However, some believe the FA Cup can offer the same romance and excitement that it always has. Phil Sprosen scores Port Vale's second goal in the 1988 FA Cup fourth-round victory over Tottenham. Port Vale legend Phil Sprosen experienced that magic when he scored the second goal in the Valiant's famous 2-1 FA Cup win over Tottenham on January 30, 1988, to reach the fifth round of the FA Cup. Phil said, "I think playing over several days takes away the tradition of what the FA Cup is, but I can fully understand why they do it. With today's media, they want to put games on at prime time. You can't have it both ways, and the clubs take a massive amount of money from TV." Men arrested in city centre, after hiding in bin to avoid police. If you ask any player, they will say that the FA Cup hasn't lost its magic. Administrators or supporters think the league is all important, but for players the FA Cup still has its magic. It holds quite a few memories and an aura. For me, the happiest memory is of the Tottenham game, but also playing Watford in the next round. We probably played better against Watford. We didn't beat them, but that was a great day, and then the following year we had a good run. Dennis Smith tackles Birmingham's Bob Latchford during the 1972 FA Cup third-place playoff match at St Andrews. Former Stoke star Dennis Smith said, "I can understand why the question is being asked. Some of the bigger clubs are not putting out their strongest teams, but they are still picking 11 internationals in the later rounds of the cup. The buzz is back." Police left stunned after stopping drivers 7 times over limit. "In my day, the FA Cup was the competition to be in. Everyone wanted to play at Wembley in the FA Cup final. If you talk to fans, that is still where they want to watch their team play, in the FA Cup final at Wembley. I think that's the same today. The foreign players are no different. They know all about the FA Cup, and if they don't, then the British players will certainly tell them."